All right, now once you have your mindset ready, you know what investing is going to require, you know the benefits of investing in real estate over other platforms, and now that you've finally picked a market, your next step is to build a team. There's a couple of positions that you have to fill, or you should fill, when building out your real estate investing team per market. Number one is you need financing. You've got to find someone who's going to pay for your asset, or some kind of debt that you can leverage. Number two, you have to find someone who can fill your deal pipeline, your deal funnel. And this can be a couple of different people, from a realtor, a broker, or a wholesaler. We'll get into more later. Third is you have to find someone who can cover your repairs and your rehab, if you have a rehab that's required. And so this is a general contractor or multiple subcontractors that you've developed relationship with. And four, you need a management company, someone who's going to manage the asset for you, because you want this as passive as possible. You don't want to have to be managing your property the entire time. And lastly, this one not many people talk about, but I call a runner. You need a runner. You need someone who's going to go run errands for you. You need someone who's going to take photos for you when you're not able to be at this potential property. Now, let's get into a little bit of who these people can be and how you can find them. Number one, for the financing side, we're looking at maybe a traditional lender. You know, your big banks or your institutional lenders, your mortgage companies. On the financing side, you can also find a private money lender. I know there's some institutional lending companies out there, but I prefer finding private money a different route, which I'm going to create a course for in the near future here. I've literally purchased 11 rental properties with $0 out of my own pocket because I leveraged private money. There's also hard money lenders, which some people confuse with private money. Hard money lenders may require points up front, origination fees, and their rates are going to be a little higher. You can use a hard money lender for something like a flip, where you don't need the money for a long time, you just need it for a couple of months. Otherwise, those fees and those carrying costs are going to eat into your profit. Or lastly, something that I like doing is learning about creative financing. You can learn how to coordinate or find sellers who are willing to engage in seller financing. You can also find a seller who's willing to engage in a sub-2 or a subject to the existing mortgage, where the seller retains the debt, but you get the title to the property to control. And so these are a couple of different people that you may want to meet or network with after you've picked your market. Now, on the deal funnel side, you have a lot of different people you can coordinate with. You can find a real estate broker who might have pocket listings or might have access to the MLS, which you don't have outside of Redfin, Zillow, Realtor, Trulia. You can engage in talks with a wholesaler. What a wholesaler does is goes out and finds a distressed property, puts that property under contract for a certain price point, and then sells that contract or assigns that contract to an investor like you for a discounted price. Wholesalers are great because they do all of the legwork for you, but you want to make sure that you vet your wholesaler just like you would vet anyone else you do business with. You can also use social media. I've sourced all of my rental properties through social media referrals. And one way that I do that, and I teach that, is by telling everyone online what you're doing. If you have an Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, MySpace, Friendster, make sure you tell everyone what you're doing and where you're investing. You can also set up inbound and outbound marketing platforms. Inbound marketing being taking advantage of SEO on a website where your deal funnel is set up and people can inquire with you. Or outbound marketing, things like cold calling, text blasting, ringless voicemails, direct mail, which is a little bit of both outbound and inbound marketing. But you have to set up a channel in order to keep your pipeline filled at all times. Then you want to meet someone who can help you coordinate with your rehabs and repairs. And this could be a general contractor, it could be a handyman if not that much work is required. But what I also base this decision on is how much work is involved. If I hire a general contractor, are they just a liaison between myself, the client, and subcontractors? And if that is the case, is it even worth it? I'd rather GC my own project if the general contractor that I'm interviewing is just gonna make calls and hire subcontractors. You'd make that decision for yourself. Lastly, or fourth, is property management. Now, when I first started, I self-managed my first property and still do. I use a platform called avail.co, which makes it really easy to set up, track payments, repair history, payment history. You can vet potential tenants, you can do your background checks and everything through avail.co. Now, the last is a runner. And a runner is good for basically any errands that you need to get done that you don't have the time to do yourself. I found my runner through Facebook groups. I typed in the market I was investing in, real estate investors, and found someone who wanted to get into the game but didn't have much experience. And so he traded my experience for his willingness to run some errands. Now, I just gave you a little clue and a little tip. Facebook groups are great to find and build out your team. They're great to meet people because you're able to click on someone's profile and get to know a little more about them before you actually engage in serious talks. Facebook is probably the #1 place that I've found people who I've added onto my team. Now, outside of that, there's also a team that has nothing to do with real estate. These are just 5 people that I think everyone should have in their lives. Someone you can run with, a cheerleader, a coach, someone you can mentor, and someone who says what needs to be said. Let me explain that a little bit. You need someone you can run with, someone who's on the same level as you, someone you can text about, some mistakes that you made early on in your investing career, someone you can call when you have a nightmare tenant and you don't know what to do. You need someone you can run with. They're not ahead of you and they're not behind you, but they're running alongside you. Number 2, you need a cheerleader. You need someone who always believes in you no matter what. In their eyes, you can do no wrong. Because there's going to be a lot of hard days in real estate investing, you need someone who's always on the sideline cheering you on. Number 3 is you need a coach. A coach helps you see and learn the things that you don't even know you don't know yet. I hired a business coach early on in my investing career, and he did wonders for me as far as his networking process, systems and processes that I had no idea, and maybe some mindset things that I needed to get over. You need someone you can mentor. Because all the knowledge shouldn't go to you, it should go through you. You should help someone else out as you get started on your real estate investing career. And lastly, you need someone who says what needs to be said. This is someone who can just shoot it straight from the hip, kids gloves off, no holds barred. They say what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Now, if you're able to do all of this and put them together on a team, you are more successful than 99% of people who want to get into real estate investing. But you need a team. If you want to go fast, you can do it yourself. But if you want to go far, you've got to involve other people.